Okay, here's a little tip about collecting seeds. You don't have to leave the seed pods on the plant until they're completely dried. Like this one is pretty dry. And you can see they're opening up and little tiny seeds will fall out, as you can see in this tray. I picked these seed pods off these are Delphiniums. And this is my book because when I started gardening, there was no internet. So this is one of my favorite books. So this is Delphinium, and it's the Belladonna group. I don't know exactly which flower, but it was a deep purple. These pictures aren't really good, but it was kind of like this one. They're like really tall, about 20 inches, and they're spiky flowers, really pretty. I was at Home Depot, or I don't know where I was. Menards. No, it wasn't Menards, because Menards has a horrible garden center. I think it was Home Depot. And it was like late summer. And they still had plants, but you know how they do. They don't take care of them, so they start to go to seed. And I just go around and pick the seed heads off. Just the seed heads, not the flower. And it took me 2 years to get them to bloom, because the first year they were just green, and then the following year they came back up and they bloomed. And they're beautiful. They're wispy. They got really wispy little leaves. They're really pretty. I'd show you in the garden, but they're done flowering. I picked these seed pods from the plant, and they were completely still green with moisture in them. Literally 2 days, and they are crispy, and the seeds are falling out. You don't have to leave the seed head on the plant to get it to dry. As long as you put it in a mild, like nice room temperature, 70s, with no, well, you can even have sun if you want. It doesn't really matter. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to release the seeds, and then these aren't ready yet, so I'm sitting them in a box upside down, so when they do dry, the seeds will fall in the box and not everywhere. People who say hang your seed pods upside down, don't do that. Everything falls out of it, and then you're on your mud porch trying to find the seeds on the floor. But you can clip, like if you're walking your dog and your neighbor's got flowers and they're done flowering and they haven't cut them down, you can snip a seed pod. I let people do that all the time. So they walk past my garden in the alley and they go, "Oh, such a beautiful garden. What kind of plant is that?" And I'll tell them, I go, "Here," and I'll pop a seed head off and say, "Go grow it in your garden." Sharing is a really great part of gardening. And so I have never grown delphiniums before, and I read a little bit about them, and I planted in my front yard where it gets partial sun in the morning and then it's pretty much shade in the afternoon, and they did terrific. So if you've never grown them, they're really fun plant. Make sure you read about them, because depending on your climate, they could possibly be invasive. Here they give you the repeat flowering, good cut flower, low allergen, and these are the cons. Mildew prone, prone to slug damage, all parts are poisonous, foliage is a skin irritant. I have never found any problems handling the plant at all, but I guess if you're sensitive to it. But it doesn't, usually it'll tell you if it's invasive, it'll tell you right there. But like I said, if you live in a warm climate, it could be a hassle. They might multiply too fast. I'm not really sure, so, don't take my word for it. Always research your area. I love this book. I bought this book, I don't know how old this book is. Huge. It's huge. Usually, you can tell I've taken it outside. I was looking for a date. 2003. Wait, no. In fond memory, 1923 to 2003. Well, it has to be at least 2003. This might have been an older book I bought. Aw, look at that. Water stains. But anyways, it's a great book. And even though you have the internet these days, and anemones? I always forget how to say that. Even though you have the internet these days, having a book is almost as good, because you can reference it quickly, and it's not opinions. It's, this is the name of the plant. This is how tall it grows, And it, like I said, in this box check, they will tell you highly invasive in certain areas. And that's such an important thing, because I've gotten burned with at my other house. I can't remember what it's called, goat's beard or something. It's supposed to be like a ground cover, and it is so highly invasive. But I didn't know that. My a coworker gave me some, because I was just starting to garden. She's like, "Here, put this in your garden." And she didn't tell me anything about it, because I told her I had a shady spot that nothing would grow in. She goes, "Oh, I got something." This stuff got so out of control that we had to get cinder blocks and build around it, and they still would come out the other side. Oh, the worst. So anyways, I'm rambling here. You can pick seed heads while they're still green. Not everything, but most things. You can do that. And you put them in a cool, dry spot. And literally, I picked these 2 days ago. And they were, soft to the touch, green. You could still feel the moisture in them. And 3 days later, you know how many flowers that's going to give me? It's going to give me so much. And like I said, people tell you to hang them up somewhere. Don't do that, because they all fall on the ground, and then you have no seeds. So get a tray like this, lay them down, and if this is too, because they start to get tangled, and you got to be on a kitchen table or something, because they start to get tangled, and when you start to pull them apart, the seeds go everywhere. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them in half, and the ones that look like they need to be cured a little longer are going in a little box. And that's my tip. I'll do other seeds. I have some really fun seed pods, like the Balsam Impatiens seed pod is like spring-loaded. When you touch and when you squeeze them, the pods flies open and the seeds disperse. And that's nature. A dog or an animal walks past and brushes past them, makes the pod spring open, and it scatters its seeds. It's quite fascinating. But it'll be a while before those are ready. But that'll be a fun video too.